Hello, quilt artisans. My name is Shonda, and welcome to my channel Under the Needle. So this is going to be a new segment. I'm going to start a new segment called Thankful Thursdays. As y'all know, I have been struggling in my life lately. I've been having a difficult time just emotionally and with some changes going on in my life. So I wanted to kind of start this segment where I can just kind of update you guys on what I'm doing and how I'm feeling and like what's going on. And how I am using quilting to feel better. So I decided in January that I was going to do passion projects only, and that's still the case. So just to update you guys on what I'm sewing. I've got a few projects going right now. First, I had retreat at the end of March. There were three projects presented in that retreat. I started two of them. The third one I have not started and probably won't start until who knows. I don't know. But when I make it, since it's the table runner size, it's probably going to be in a colorway that matches my home when I do decide to make it. I might even make it out of the same root bundle because I'm loving that bundle, and I think that the funky colors will work in my home. So I chose to use the root bundle for retreat. It's not the bundle that I ordered. It wasn't actually available for retreat, but I had the bundle and I chose to use that. And so there are two projects that I'm working on. One of them is called Ariel. I've got all the blocks made for this quilt. And I've got 4 of the rows put together. But I need to put together the rest of it. So it's looking pretty good. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. So probably have the top done sometime between as long as there's no mistakes. I got to go back and make sure that all of these blocks are facing the right way, but I'm pretty sure it's all the right way. I did kind of go back and check, but I think I'm going to do it again just to make sure I got everything right. So this is one project. So this is, like I said, this is almost done. So probably between, I don't know, within the next couple of weeks, I'll have that done. So I am working on that. Second thing from retreat was another project called Mickey. This was a little bit, it's not complex, but it just, you got to pay attention to direction. I had to bust out the seam ripper quite a lot. So these blocks, let's see, I got half my blocks done. So this is what these blocks look like. These blocks are completed. They just have to be squared up. But I have a few blocks that aren't yet complete. Well, half. I completed half my blocks. And now I need to complete the other half. And honestly, that's just on the back burner for me for right now. I know that I'll come back to this project just because I love this fabric so much. Like, I know I'm going to come back to this project. So I'm not really worried about it. I'll probably just pop this. Let's see if I've got this empty open gate box over here. Because these blocks are a little too big for a sew sampler box. So I'm just going to pop these in here. I'll probably neaten it up a little bit more. But so those two from retreat I still got going on. I've also been working on my favorite color is Moda. I haven't worked on it in a while because I did the Book Nook quilt along, which I told you guys about a couple of months ago, so I'm not going to revisit that. But my favorite color is Moda. I've got my color chart. I was doing Book Nook at the same time, so I've got like the Book Nook on the back. But I've got my color chart, and I've got some of my I think I've got a portion of the quilt pieced. I decided to do it all in grunge because I don't really like solids. The original quilt was done all in solids. I did not like that. So I chose to use grunge, and then I also played with the colors a little bit. But I got some of these blocks made. Kind of see here. I think it's coming out pretty good. So I'm loving that. This quilt is put together, like it goes together in set. Well, it's meant to be like a block of the month type thing, or it's a sampler. But what I'm doing, since it goes together in pieces like this, I'm not doing the blocks in order. So I'm not doing like block 1, block 2. I'm not doing that. But I am doing a separate series on this quilt. So once the quilt is done, I'll release those videos. But been liking this. Like I said, I don't think I've been able to work on this since probably January or February. No, probably February was the last time. So having some fun with that. And this is the pattern booklet. And the finished pattern is like this. So this section here with the courthouse steps, this is the section that I've put together. So that's something that I'm working on. Oh, shoot. Now it doesn't want to close back. In addition, let's see. I'm also working on a quilt-along called Charade. It's supposed to be like a controlled improv type quilt, but I chose not to do that because I didn't want to do a lot of thinking. Where is that quilt, by the way? Like absolute chaos I've got going on right now. Where's that quilt? Oh, is this it? No, I just put it in. One of these. I need to label them all. Some of them are labeled, some aren't. So, it's called Charade. I think I've got the pattern here somewhere. I can kind of show you the whole quilt. But this is the finished block. And Lord have mercy. The finished quilt is going to look like this. And I don't know, something about it just appealed to me. Now, the pattern designer, she likes to do controlled improv. So the instructions were to have everything, all your colors in order of like Roy G. Biv, the rainbow, the spectrum, and to put everything that way, and then to kind of build your blocks by color. And I was like, what? I don't know. Now, if I had been able to like see it done a couple of times, I might like see the blocks come together. But if I had waited to see the blocks come together, then I would be behind in the sewing. So I was like, I've had this jelly roll for a long time. I love the way it looks. And actually, I think I used 2 different jelly rolls. I used 2 jelly rolls so that I could make, so that I could have enough pieces. I think you needed 1.5 to make the throw size. You needed 1.5. So I had 2 different jelly rolls. So I just pulled what I wanted out of each. One jelly roll was more kind of these oranges and lighter colors, and the other one was more darker. I just decided to scramble up all of the colors. So they're not scrambled up now, but when I went to sew it, I would say take this stack and just completely scramble it and put it in a bag. And then I would just pull the pieces out randomly. So I would this piece might be the same. I might not switch up this, but I would take this stack and just, because there's no need to switch them both up. I would just randomly do this, maybe this stack here, and then not this stack, and then just pull the pieces randomly instead of trying to worry about where the colors are going to go. So I've got all of my week 1 components completed. This was what we had to make. We just had to do this for week 1. There's 120 of these, so it didn't really take long. It didn't take long at all. I think in one day, I think I did half in one day, half the next day. It was really, really easy. Next week, same thing, super easy. We're building a block that has this piece in the middle, this longer piece in the middle, and then one of these smaller pieces on either side. And then the following week, what we'll do is we'll make 40 blocks. And a block is our this piece, then the piece that we're going to be sewing for next week, and then this strip here. So we'll just make 40 blocks. It's going to be pretty quick. And then after that, it goes to, we start with assembly. No, so 80 blocks total. So one week we do 40 blocks. The next week we do another 40 blocks. I'm all caught up on this sew along, so I'm doing other stuff right now. So when this sew along restarts, I think it's week 3. I don't have the schedule with me, but it starts every Sunday is when the new week starts. So next Sunday I'll start sewing, my components for that week. And so I think I'll keep up here. I'll probably try to get a little bit ahead. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, I'm excited about how this quilt is going to look. Mine is going to be like all rainbowed out, whereas hers, I don't know if you can tell this, but like there's like a color gradation where she starts in the center and moves outward. Now, one thing about this project is that you can't really use prints for it. You kind of got to go with solids or blenders. I don't really like solids, so I went with blenders, and it was an interesting way to get to use up 2 jelly rolls that have been sitting since, 2018. So there's that. What else am I working on? So I'm also in the middle of a quilt called Interwoven, which is made up of completely 1.5-inch strips. I am probably 40% through with my blocks. Yeah, maybe about 40% done. Those blocks look like, I don't even know where that quilt is right now. I don't know where it is. I do know that one of the reasons I put it away is because I did not like working on it without my Oliso iron. So I've only touched it once since my iron broke on March 15th. I've only touched that quilt once because as I was piecing the strips and having to press all the seams open, I did not like my Rowenta for that pressing process at all. I did not like it. So yeah, that's that. So these are the strips. Yeah, these are the strips. Somewhere there's a container. There's a container somewhere that has all the quilt blocks in there and all of the cut fabric in there. But I honestly have no idea where that is. Okay. So I do have a couple of unboxings that I have coming up. I'm going to have to do one for Goodies Color Club came last week. I have not unboxed it. And Stashing with Stephanie, I think I've got like 5 months of that I have not opened. I think I'm going to be stopping both of those subscriptions, and I will talk more about that when I do those unboxings. But I don't think that I'm going to continue those because I don't have space for fabric. I literally have bags. So the last couple of hauls that I did, like before I found out about my job and all that stuff, and I really stopped buying, that stuff is all sitting out here. Like, I can't put it away because I have nowhere to put it. So at some point I've got to get it folded, but I'm just not worried about it right now because I don't want to stress myself out. I'm still a mom. I'm still a partner. I still have cooking and cleaning and chores and laundry. So I'm not going to burden myself about worrying about folding and stacking fat quarters right now. I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to have fun. And if it doesn't bring me joy, I'm not doing it. So at some point I am going to clean up because at some point it starts to bother me. Like I'm in absolute chaos right now. Like I'm going to let y'all see. That's my cutting table. How can I cut anything over there? Like when I go to cut, I have to move stuff out the way. This is my, this is where you can see my computer. This is my sewing mat. I mean, not my sewing mat, my ironing mat. There's stuff all over it, right? Absolute disaster. So, like this is my breakfast plate. Still sitting here, okay? Everything is a mess. And eventually that's going to bother me and I'm going to take a day and get it cleaned up. I know I'm going to do that. It's going to start to bother me. Everything's going to start to encroach upon me. I'm going to get tired of having to move things to iron, get tired of moving things just to have to cut. I'm going to get tired of that and I'm going to take a day and clean up. But that day is not today. So, also, other stuff. Oh, I don't want that to get. Oh, here's a piece of interwoven. 1.5 inch strips pressed open. It's going to be a beautiful quilt though. Let's see what else we got here. I had a finish. I did post it on my Instagram, but the Open Gate quilt subscription box that I did yesterday, or was it the day before yesterday? I think it's the day before yesterday because I sewed it. I finished sewing this yesterday and I put it on my Instagram. I don't remember. I don't know day from day. I don't know. But the most recent Open Gate quilt subscription box, there was a large project and a smaller project. And initially I stated that I was going to do the smaller project because I could not take on another project. But I lied. These blues just kept calling me because I'm doing some home renovations right now. And the wall color that I just painted my home is very similar to these blues. This kind of aqua color here. It's very similar. It just very much reminded me of the colors that I'm painting my house, even my kitchen. So I decided to do the larger project. Literally that same night that I did the unboxing, I did all the cutting, or most of the cutting. I think I cut everything except I didn't finish cutting the background. And then the next day I pieced, quilted, and bound this little puppy here. Don't look too close at my stitching because it's not good. I cannot find my Supreme slider, and I think that might be the thing that makes me clean up because I like using my Supreme slider when I do free motion quilting. Walking foot quilting, not so much. It's because because it uses the feed dogs and you don't really need all that sliding. And lately that's what I've been doing. I have not done free motion quilting since May. May was the last time I did free motion. And it's really kind of what burnt me out. That project that I did is really, everything kind of started then. I started feeling burnout then. And then after that, everything just trickled after that. Because in May, after I gave that quilt away, and the quilt wasn't received in quite the way that I wanted it to be, which I feel like that's just par for the course. You know, it just happens that way. And so it was a bit disappointing to spend so much time and effort and to not have it be like received in the way that I wish that it had been. But that's okay. Like that's just how it is. That's just how it is. I made a quilt without even knowing who the recipient was. And so that was part of the problem. It's really helpful to know who your recipient is. I thought I was asked to make a quilt and I thought I was making it for the person who asked me, but I wasn't. I was making it for someone else, but I did not know that. And had I known who the true recipient was going to be, I would have made the quilt differently. Hands down. One, I would not have done free motion quilting at all. And two, I would have backed it with Minky just to make sure, to give it that extra kind of level of coziness is what I would have done. Anywho, that's me. That's here nor there. It's not like the person who was the ultimate recipient asked me to make it for her, and then it was like, or just was like, oh, a blanket. That's not the case. So there's nobody to blame. It's just part of being a quilter and giving things away. You just don't know how that's going to be received. There's no way to know how that's going to be received. That's just par for the course. So that really wasn't what contributed to it. It was just, I put all that work into that quilt, right? I put a lot of work into it. And I spent a lot of time doing the free motion quilting. And that same month was accident number one? Was that the first car accident? I don't remember. But that same month, that's like right around the time when my fiance had to leave his job because they were having him work 80 hours a week. And he had been working like that for a long time. So I was like, hey, I want you to take some time off, which was an extra burden on me. But of course, I wanted him to have that. And so that's kind of when everything kind of started. And then there's been just multiple issues since then. So just, let's see, what didn't I tell you guys? So my sink broke. So this is all stuff that happened before that I just never talked about. So my sink broke, right? All the connections under the sink, the sink was old. There was water all under the sink. We had to turn this water off. We had no sink. I had to come we had to go buy another sink, and then had to have somebody come and install it because my fiance, he can do a lot of stuff, but plumbing is not one of them. So the sink, to do that, to buy the sink, get all the accessories for the sink, it was about $500, right? So that was the sink. But most recently, guys, my water bill had been like astronomically high. And I was kind of ignoring it because I just was like, I don't need something else. But eventually it got to where I had no choice because my water bill was $200. So I had a plumber come to the house, look, and it was my toilets leaking, right? But also my septic tank was full. There was flooding going on outside. Now, mind you, I just had my septic tank pumped last year. And it was the first time I had it pumped since I moved into the house in 2015. So not a big deal. It's regular maintenance. But the septic tank is full again. So I had somebody come and pump the septic tank. That was another $500. But then he also told me that it looked like that my septic pump was broken. So he gave me the name of a guy. Great company. Just great. I mean, there are so many crappy companies these days, but these people were amazing. When I tell you they were amazing. First of all, they texted me back immediately because in this day and age, it's hard even just to get a response. It's like you're paying your money and people don't even want to call you back to get your money. So he texted back immediately. He said, hey, we can come tomorrow. We can come tomorrow morning. We will let you know when we are 30 minutes away. And lo and behold, first thing in the morning, they were like, hey, we're going to be a little earlier than we thought, but we're on our way. And I'm like, cool. And they came and they were very professional. They covered their feet, of course, going in and out the house, even though we're doing massive renovations, but the carpet is torn up. We don't even have any flooring, but they were like, no, we need to be clean. We need to be respectful of your home. So they did all that. And they told me what the issue was. They told me how much it was going to cost. It was going to be $2,648. I was like, wow, that's a lot of money considering, and this just happened, like we just got this replaced in the month of March. This just happened. So they come out, like I said, and they tell me how much it's going to be. And I'm like, look, I'm going to have to get this. I don't have $26.49 laying around. I'm going to have to pull it from my 401k. It's going to take till Wednesday. So can you guys come back on Wednesday? And he was like, ma'am, if you promise us, he's like, if you give us a post-dated check, we'll fix it for you right now. What? People still do that for people? I didn't know people still did that for people. So I wrote him a post-dated check. He gave me an invoice. And I said, sir, actually, since it's coming from my 401k, I will put the request in today, but, I don't want there to be some kind of glitch, so let's do it for Thursday. I said, I can post-date the check for Thursday. He said, fine. And I said, if the money comes in earlier, I will let you know. Well, the money came in earlier, so I messaged him on Wednesday, and I said, hey, the money came in, and he deposited the check, and he followed up. They just did great work. They showed me everything that was going on. They made sure I understood what they were doing. They didn't just go back there and do some stuff and be like, here, ma'am, here's an invoice. No, they called me out and said, okay, look, this is what's going on. This is the problem. This is the issue. This, that. Just incredible people. Incredible people to work with. Incredible people. If I ever have another issue, I will 1,000% call them. If anyone I know has an issue, I would 1,000% recommend them. They were great. So we had to get the septic replaced. So it's just been, and then y'all know about all my car situations. So anywho, it's just been a time. It's been a time. What else is going on? Do I have anything else? Any other works in progress? Any other finishes? I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think so. I think that's it. So I am planning a postcard from Sweden quilt. I did partially cut out some of the triangles. I am going to do it as a leader ender project. I don't think I'm going to sit down. I think I'm just going to do it as a leader ender project. And I think that's what I decided to do. So I think when I'm not going to do it now because I'm in chaos right now. And if you've ever seen that project, it's basically all half square triangles. But there are no like units. Like the whole point of this quilt is that there are no two half square triangles that are alike. So you don't use the 2 at a time method or 4 at a time method or any of those other methods that I like to use. You take the square, you cut it in half, you sew 2 halves together. There's a whole chart diagram, right? So I think what I'm going to do is when I get ready, I'm going to go ahead and, I think I might go ahead and cut all my triangles out because I'm using a die. I'm using an AccuQuilt die. Let's keep it real. So I think when I'm ready, I've cut some of the stuff out, but I couldn't finish. So when I'm ready, I'll finish the cutting, do my matched pairs, and then set it aside and do it as a leader ender instead of trying to put the whole thing together. What else? I think that's it. I think that's it for real this time. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. No, I don't think there is. I think that's it. I should have took some notes. Maybe I'll do that going forward. I'll take some notes. There is one more thing. There is one more thing. So y'all know that, or maybe you don't. I don't know how often y'all watch, but I did not lose. My iron broke back on March 15th. I mentioned that earlier. And I got my money back. I got a full refund for said iron. And I really, did not want to pay for another one. I wanted to just keep using my good old Rowenta here. But here's the thing. I love this iron for pressing new fabric. When I am, look at all these steam holes. It's incredible. When you are pressing a new piece of fabric and you've got, it just gets all the wrinkles out. And it's got some real weight to it. It's about 4 pounds. And it just does a great job. But when I'm doing my piecing, and I don't use steam anymore when I'm piecing. And the reason I don't, it's actually a gift that the Oliso gave me. I used to always keep steam in my iron, always, because everything gets flatter with steam. But for some reason with the Oliso, I was able to get pretty flat seams without the steam. And when I eliminated the steam, my piecing got a little bit better. And I think it's because we all know that heat makes your fabric more pliable and more subject to shift out of shape. Steam makes it even more so. Now, I am not a perfect sewer. I'm an imperfect sewer, and I'm okay with that. I don't strive for perfection. But if there are things that I can do to make my blocks better without having to do a whole bunch of stuff, I don't want to press everything open. I don't. But I found that using a dry hot iron really, really, really helped. Tremendously helped. My piecing accuracy. I mean, when I say tremendously, we're talking about fractions of we're talking about half an eighth. Okay, we're not talking about a lot of difference, but that fraction adds up in quilting, right? So I did not like it for piecing. I just didn't. I did not like it for piecing. I did not enjoy using it. Also, that 8-minute shut off. I can't. And even if there's a way to bypass it, I don't want to bypass it because I need my iron to shut off because I am immensely forgetful. And I don't sew in a single session. I don't come, sit down, sew for 2 hours, I'm done, I wrap everything up. No, I come and sew for 5-15 minutes and leave, come back, sew, back. I'm in and out. So it doesn't fit me to have an 8-minute shut off. It's not even time to piece anything. So I found myself having to, just tip the iron every so often just to keep it on. I didn't like that. Now I use this, I've been using it since March 15th. I wanted to give it a really, really, really fair shot. And I'm going back to my Oliso. I purchased it 2 days ago. So as of today, I've been using this Rowenta for 3 weeks and 1 day. And just now, it came today. Now, it's supposed to have a sole plate with it, so I'm going to have to see where that is. I don't know if maybe that's coming in a separate container or something. I don't know, but I did not get another Missouri Star one. I just got this from Amazon. It was $203 with including the little silicone trivet that it can sit on. So yeah, I ended up having to bite the bullet. And honestly, I probably could have, if it hadn't been for the 1.5 inch strips, if it had, like when I was piecing that, there was a marked difference between how I was able to sew those strips together with my Oliso versus the Rowenta. And actually, I think the lighter weight of the Oliso made it easier. And also, it's a little bit hotter, and I just find that it works better. It works better dry than my Rowenta. And if I use the steam, if I put water, and even if I just put it on the lowest steam setting, I can get the same results with the Rowenta. But now that I've gotten used to no water in my iron, now that I've gotten used to a dry iron, I don't really want to go back. So I'm just going to keep using a dry iron and my best press, or water, like a spray bottle with water, or usually my best press, and do that. And hopefully, if this iron dies, it dies within the 3-year, it dies within the 3-year window, right? Hopefully. So we'll see. But yeah, so I'm back to my Oliso. Yeah, so hey, I tried. I gave it a fair shot. 3 weeks is a fair shot. And y'all have seen like the projects that, like those 2 retreat projects I just showed you, those were all done with the Rowenta. Both of those projects were done with the Rowenta. What else did I piece with the Rowenta? This, the wall hanging, that's the Rowenta. So, yeah. So anyway, I think that's it for real this time. I do have a video coming up I'm excited about. It's a little bit about, it's going to be more of a technique video. It's going to be a new thing for me, a new kind of concept for me. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. So feeling certainly better than I felt in January. And I have good days and bad days. Well, not really good days and bad days. I have good days and then not so good days. I can't really call them bad days. I don't think I've had any bad days in a while, but I have had some not so great days. But I feel like they're getting fewer and far. They're fewer. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. They're getting fewer. They're getting lesser and lesser. There are fewer of them. I feel like sometimes joy is a state of mind. I feel like sometimes peace is a state of mind. And so I feel like no matter what you do, even if you choose to talk to someone, whether it be friends, family, someone in your church, or a licensed professional, you also have to wanna I guess what I'm saying is, for me, because I can't speak for other people, for me, it helps to think positive thoughts, right? I guess it's a basic idea, but I feel like sadness can be a self-fulfilling prophecy, and so can happiness. So I feel like if I sit here and allow myself to wallow in every negative thing that's happened to me, then I'm just perpetuating the sadness. So I feel like I have to make an active choice every day to not do that. And whatever it takes, that's what it takes. So in the mornings, I've been getting up earlier. in the morning, and so that I can go to bed better at night. I've also been trying to have more of a sleep schedule where I'm up at a certain time and going to bed around within a certain range. I feel like that's helping. I'm taking some ashwagandha. I feel like that might be helping. Yeah, so I'm just trying to stay positive and think positive thoughts and live in. I'm trying to wallow in those things in life that bring me joy. I rather lay in those things. So let me wallow in this quilt disaster. If it's making me happy, or at least less sad. So that's it for me. That is my first Thankful Thursday. I don't know how you guys are going to feel about this. It's just me yapping on. How long have I talked? 40 minutes. I don't think every Thankful Thursday segment will be this lengthy. At least I hope not. But we'll see. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you found this enjoyable at all. Let me know if this is something I should continue or not. Let me know if you want to know more about me or more updates about like my everyday life and what I'm doing on a weekly basis. Let me know. And so I don't want to keep doing this if nobody wants to hear it. But like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. And I will see you guys next video.